What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and what's up, Ranger Nation? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with Power Rangers Dino Fury episode number 14, and it's titled Old Foes. Now, you guys, if you guys are watching this video on JB Says What or JB Cyberspace, I need you guys to do me a favor. Subscribe to both of the channels. Hit the like button, hit the share button, the notification bell buttons are on, and with that out the way, let's go ahead and without further ado, and let's get into episode 14 of Power Rangers Dino Fury. All right, guys, so this was a really good episode, right? So the episode opens up and we are at Area 52. And we see this cloaked figure as it's entering area, is it 52 or 62? I think it's Area 52. So we see the cloaked figure, it's in there and it's going towards this Void Knight's, jukebox to steal some of his sporks. So Void Knight, Slither, and Mucus come in and trying to figure out, like, hey, who are you and why are you trying to steal my sporks? So the cloaked figure reveals itself, and it is none other than the Emperor of Bad, Lord Zed. So he's looking at it, he's like, why are you trying to steal my sporks? And then his Lord Zed's boss comes in, whose name is Regal, and they were like, wow, one of the baddest villains of all time in Lord Zed is being controlled by you? How is that possible? Well, it's made possible because of the compliance collar that is on Lord Zed, and we remember that the compliance collars were introduced to us last season on Beast Morphers by Ryjax, who had the compliance collars on God with the monster. Ryjax is the one that introduced the compliance collars, right? So Regal is a sorceress, right? So his magic, he uses magic, and he brought back Lord Zed from a time when he was at his baddest. We know what that is. That is the 90s. So this Lord Zed, to me, this is Rita Repulsa. This is pre-season 3 Lord Zed. This is season 2 Lord Zed, right? This is the Lord Zed that we met when he came in and he banished Rita into the deep regions of space, right? So this is that Lord Zed to me. This is not the goofy Lord Zed that we got in season 3 that the Rangers were even, that the Rangers just made mince of his monsters, right? Because season 2 Lord Zed was scary, menacing. So this is the Lord Zed. This is who I think this Lord Zed is. Pre-Rita Repulsa. So Ryjax, why did I say Ryjax? Void Knight has made a deal with Regal, right? So Void Knight tells Regal that, hey, if you can capture the Rangers for me, right? Bring all 5 of them to me, I'll give you 1 Sporks. He agreed to that. I'm like, that's a terrible deal when you think about it, right? I'm bringing you all 5 Power Rangers, but I only get 1 Sporks in return. The math doesn't math, right? It's not really math. And 5 Rangers for 1 Sporks. How about 5 Sporks for 5 Rangers? 1 Sporks for each of the Power Rangers. Better deal, right? But we're gonna move on. All right, you guys, so it is Halloween time, and we see that the Rangers, they are over at Buzz Blast, and they're talking about what they're going to be for Halloween. Amelia is going to be a vampire and suck your blood, and I was like, that's an interesting looking mosquito. I was like, oh, come on, Ollie, she's a vampire. So then they talk about, Zato's like, he doesn't know what to go for what he wants to be for Halloween. And Amelia says, as long as you're not a clown, that's fine, because those things are creepy. And someone said, what about spiders? Those are pretty creepy. Spiders are creepy, but I'm with Amelia. I'm more afraid of clowns than I am a spider. So then Ollie's talking about how he's not basically afraid of anything. So they're like, oh, okay. We'll take that task up, right? You say you're not afraid of anything. We're gonna set up a haunted little trail for you to walk through. So then we see the Rangers. So near where the base is, right? They've set it up to basically scare Ollie. So they send him on his way, right? To go through the haunted forest and see what awaits him, basically, right? So when they do that, when they leave, two Sporks that they've defeated in the past show up, right? And when the Sporks show up, it's the Sporks as well as Zed and Regal. When they show up, they put these sleep collars on the Rangers, which actually puts the Rangers to sleep. But then they realize it's only 4 Rangers. We're missing one. So Ollie is walking through the forest. He's seeing what they've set up for him, right? Then the Sporks do find him, right? So Ollie calls the team. He's like, hey guys, did you guys send these Sporks? So he gets no answer from them, right? So then he morphs and he's like, one of them is the Sporks from the episode that Mick returned him. You guys remember Mick made that big throat lozenge and threw it in the Spork's mouth. So Ollie called Solon to ask her for one. So Solon teleported there, threw it in the monster's in the Spork's mouth, and then she, hightailed it out there, right? She was like, I'm just here. I'm here for more support if you need me. So then Ollie, he's battling with both of the Sporks, right? He does defeat them, but the thing is they're able to regenerate. And this actually reminds me of the episode of Hexabyss's Graveyard on Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, right? Hexabyss's Graveyard, Lost Galaxy, when the Rangers were fighting those old monsters from Hexabyss's Graveyard. And also there was an episode like that in Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue when the Rangers, I think it was the Sorcerer in the Sands, right? Where the Rangers went to the Shadow World and they were battling those old monsters, but each time that they would defeat them, they would just come back. So yeah. So then Ollie was able to finally defeat them for good, right? So then Ollie sees Solon and she spots Lord Zed. And he was like, he looks familiar. She's like, yeah, that's Lord Zed, So then Ollie wants to go and battle Lord Zed. I'm like, no, can't do that, right? Solon actually told him, no, like, don't do that. So Lord Zed was about to charge at Ollie, and that's when Solon teleported them back to the base. So we're gonna pause here and move forward. All right, you guys. So back in the base, Ollie and Solon, they're trying to figure out, like, how can they take care of Lord Zed, right? So they watched the Ranger database, right? So they looked at Lord Zed's history. They see when he turned the Rangers back into kids. They see when he created the Dark Rangers. I don't have an issue with the voice actor who portrayed Lord Zed. I don't have an issue with it, right? The only issue that I had in this episode was when Solon referred to Serpentera as Serpentira. That was just a small little issue that I had, right? But not a big deal. They then talk about how, they try to figure out how was Lord Zed defeated, right? Well, he was defeated by Zordon's energy from his, the good energy from Zordon's energy tube, right? So they can't really create that. They can't recreate that. And then they were still trying to figure out, like, how is he under control? And Ollie remembered there was something around his neck. So he types into the database collar, and that's when they found out that it's the compliance collar from Riotjax. So then we see Ollie. So Ollie teleports back to where the others are, right? And, he's able to, with the help of the Dino dagger, he's able to release the compliance collar from Zed. So once the compliance collar has been released from Zed, Zed is ready to go and battle, fight with Regal and the two Sporks, right? So Regal and Mucus, they left. And I was thinking about that. I'm like, this is the first time that we actually saw Lord Zed really in combat battle, right? We saw him fight once, but it wasn't, he used his staff to fight. And that was what Tommy remembered. And was it a cat catastrophe? I think it was a cat catastrophe when they kidnapped Kimberly. and they were draining her energy. That was the one time that Lord Zed fought with Tommy, but he didn't really fight Tommy because he used his staff and just hit Tommy one good time, and that was it. So Ollie was able to get the sleep bracelets off of the Rangers, right? And when he did that, they woke up and they were like, you know what? We need to help those Sporks, unfortunately. So the Rangers and the Sporks are battling Lord Zed. Zed eventually leaves. Like, he's like, you guys are lucky that I don't have my staff, because if I had my staff, it'd be hell to pay. I'm like, well, your staff might be over in San Angeles where Thrax was last seen, so you might want to go check San Angeles. So then the Sporks grow, right? The Rangers call on their Zords. They battle with the Sporks, and they are once again able to defeat the Sporks. So then we move over to Void Knight, right? So Void Knight, he has put those Sleepy Time bracelets on Regal, and at this point, he's put Regal into a cell. So then back at the base, we see all the Rangers dressed up, right? So Amelia, I still think she was a vampire. Ollie was a astronaut. Izzy, she was a leprechaun. And Javi was their dad. And then Zato came out as a Earth Knight. And you guys, that is the end of the episode. So let me know what you guys thought about it. Please leave your comments in the comment section below and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell button so you guys are notified when I drop anything else. Share the video. And until the next one, stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.